Bryson. I'm the founder and the owner of The Crew. You're listening to The Crew Podcast exclusively on YouTube.
I'm William Bryson. I'm the founder and also the owner, creator, whatever you want to say, of the Crew. And on the podcast today is a rare treat. We have Miss Hannah. And Hannah, how are you?
I am just dandy. How about you, Will?
I'm good, thank you. I know before we basically went live with this podcast, I know that you were a little nervous. So, and it's good to be nervous, no matter what the situation is. But we're going to talk about a lot of things. I think that this podcast with you is going to be rare, only because, we joke with Wesley, he's the dark horse. You're really the wild card, because you kind of not only just came into the mix, so to speak, but you didn't even see it coming.
Absolutely not.
So we have a lot to talk about. So I'm actually excited about this podcast. So let's just jump right into the obvious. You're actually starting. You're going to be doing what we call breaking news.
I'm the breaking news girl. Yes, I am.
You're the breaking news girl. Now, for people that are listening and that don't know what breaking news is, breaking news was a concept that I came up with, and I thought, how funny would it be that when we launched the site in 2018, as you're actually on the site, it just comes up with these these news segments, right? And I thought, how funny would it be if it was just maybe 20, 30 seconds of a news segment, saying something really corny, for example, it'd be do breaking news, and it'd be hi, I'm Hannah, and just so you know, Aldi's is having a sale.
Exactly. I'll be driving in my car, and I'll be practicing on beep, 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 breaking news.
So what people don't know is that even so the site itself, the website's going to be launched in 2018. We are actually going to start filming all of them skits in 2017 as well. And a couple of them will actually put on YouTube because it's going to be an exclusive. But let me ask you, and we'll get back to the breaking news and how we got to that point. But let me ask you, because we really, and I'm going to put myself included in that, don't know a lot about you.
Right.
Tell everybody where you were born and raised and how you got to where you're at now.
Oh, gosh. Well, I was born and raised in a little hick town, Pleasant Hill, Missouri, about 30 minutes from Kansas City. And I lived there till I was about 18. And then my family, we all wanted a different change in life, so we moved to Michigan.
Oh, wow.
And I was here. Do what?
I said that's you mean, when you say Michigan, you mean Detroit, Michigan?
Yeah, Grand Rapids.
Oh, yeah.
Great Haven, Michigan, yeah. I lived there for about 2 years. I got married, moved to Wichita, Kansas. I was married for 10 years. Now I'm not. And then here.
So in that, and I'm going to go back a little bit and kind of fast forward. When you were growing up, of course, in Pleasant Hill, were you, did you have any brothers, sisters?
I have a brother and I have a sister. Yes, I do.
And
yes,
where do you fall in that?
I'm the middle child.
Okay, gotcha. So is your sister or is it your brother that's the oldest?
My brother's the oldest and my sister's the baby one.
Okay, gotcha. So you were born in Pleasant Hill. You have both a brother and sister. You what school do you go to?
Oh, well, I was actually homeschooled.
Really?
I was homeschooled.
Oh, wow. I think you're the first person that I've actually talked to that's been homeschooled. I mean, I'm sure I came across them in my 41 years of life, but I mean, just recently, that's rare if you're homeschooled nowadays. Um, so you were homeschooled. So after basically your high school, your 12th grade, basically, you graduated. Okay. Did you go to college or how'd that work?
That is a complicating question for real. I didn't go to college, and that was all due to, religion. And I don't want to really bring religion up into this, but yeah, it had to do my upbringing. I had, yeah.
Okay. Well, we won't bring religion into it. But we'll definitely say that you went your own route. One of the things that I know about you, and I actually respect about you, is that you beat to your own drum. And I think that's rare. I think that's a rarity that not a lot of people have. So definitely hats off to you for that. Let's talk about. You said you were married.
What?
For 10 years, and did you have any kids in that 10 years?
No, did not have no kids. Nope, no kids. Just me and him.
Just you and him. And not to get too deep into that, but obviously that didn't work out. And of course, then you moved to Wichita.
Yeah, when I was married, I lived there in Wichita for 10 years. And then I went through my divorce and then moved here to Kansas City.
What brought you, and I'm glad you brought that up, what brought you to Kansas City?
It was a hard 10 years, and, well, honestly, I hated Wichita. It brought back a lot of bad memories, so I needed to go somewhere fresh.
Right.
And, did I agree with my parents moving to Michigan? No, because I loved Kansas City. When I was living in Michigan, I always thought about being back in Kansas City. So this is my home. This is where I want to be. So
right. So what year was it that you moved to Kansas City?
It was 2 years ago.
Oh, so so it's just been 2 years for you. Okay. So let's talk about, because I know in 2 years a lot can happen no matter where you live. But so when you moved to Kansas City, what's the first job that you had here in Kansas City?
Oh gosh, let me think about this. I've done a lot of hotel, guest customer service. A lot of my first job. Man, I don't remember what my first job was. And I moved back here.
I know we're putting you on the spot. I know. I know that's really a bad answer, but I don't remember what job I had. What now? What do you? Just so people know, what do you currently do now?
I actually sell cars right now. I never ever thought that I would enjoy selling a car, but I love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh, so you're like a car dealer.
I am.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, and then when you say that, then I just laugh at myself because I'm like, you're nervous, me and you. It's funny that you said that because I can see that I can see the talker in you. Yet I'm the opposite, where I am more of a over the phone person. I could never. Well, I shouldn't say never, but I would prefer over the phone compared to face. Do you compare the vice versa?
I would actually rather talk in person just because, I don't know, I'm just, it's just more personal talking, to someone in person, right? You can see each other's face.
Right.
Yeah.
So you are currently working for a car dealership, which is not bad because now I know where to go get my car from. Let's talk about, because and I did the podcast with Brandon, and one of the things that we talked about in the podcast is his relationship with you as far as how you came into the crew, and me and you talked about this also because the original plan was to have Seth do breaking news, and then I went a different direction with that whole mindset, and then we put you in it. Kind of tell people, just so they don't know, because I know you and Brandon are really good friends, and you guys go back like that. How did you and Brandon meet?
You're funny. They were really close friends.
Right.
So that's how we met each other.
Right. The reason I say that, because like I said, I know if it wasn't for Brandon, you wouldn't have met us and wouldn't be part of the crew. And I, personally, as a creator of the crew, I'm forever grateful to both of you.
And I want to say thank you as well, because that night that you had invited us over, to go to your house and talk about it, I didn't even think I was part of the crew. I just went there to support you, Wesley, and Brandon. And then when you were like, you want me to be a part of it, I was like completely like, are you kidding me? I was like thrilled, like I just jumped out of bed. I was so excited.
Right.
I can't believe you part of something like this.
Yeah. So for people. Oh, you're more than welcome. For people that don't know and are probably figuring out like what's she talking about, we had our very first meeting, and I kind of went over this in the podcast with Wesley. But we had our first meeting, and we were supposed to go bowling after that. And so Brandon, brought Hannah, and I knew right then. I just knew. Because here's the thing, as I'm actually talking and I'm telling, the pitches and the scripts, you can just see your eyes light up and you're just laughing. And at that point I said, you know what? I'm looking for a replacement anyway.
Right.
And she gets the concept. Let me just go ahead and put her in that and just put it all together. And the funny thing is it actually works out even better, because the dynamic between the whole crew is just amazing.
And we work so well together. We have so much fun. I mean, there's always laughter and smiles, and it's just such a good feeling when we're all together.
It is. So we're here in about a minute. We're gonna take a quick break. But when we come back, I want to talk to you about your role with breaking news. I also want to talk to you about your relationship with Nell.
All right, can't wait.
And then we're gonna play a little game, and we played this game with Brandon, but we're gonna play with you as well, called 6 questions, one answer, and you have one throwback. So you can throw back a question if you don't like the question you're given. But we have a lot more coming up with Hannah, so we will be right back.
Can't wait.
Yo, what up? This is Brandon Harden, Mr. Smiles. Right now I'm rolling with the crew on this podcast with you. Keep listening, keep it locked, stay tuned for more.